I'm Alex Madden from Board Game Co, and this is To Back or Not to Back, where we're going to look at a variety of crowdfunding campaigns, talk about the games, the campaigns, the stretch goals, all of that and more. And yes, we do have Calcifer in the background over here. But hopefully, I will not be too distracted by him. He's very occupied by Haunted House from Pandasaur. So if you are interested in a game that will keep your cat occupied. Apparently, he really likes batting the dice into the little holes where they're supposed to be lost, and then digging his paw into the hole to try to find it. So we'll see if that keeps him occupied. But with that said, we are doing To Back, Not to Back. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's start off as we usually do with the Cult of the Now. We're about to dive into a bunch of crowdfunding campaigns. Not that many, actually. I think we have like 6 today. This is such a short week, but I'm still doing it. That way I don't fall behind for next week. So, short week. Although I will say, some campaigns I'm definitely interested in. There's at least 2 that I'm strongly interested in. 2 out of 6 is pretty good numbers. But before we dive into crowdfunding, we have Cult of the Now. Cult of the Now is where you can get great games available at a great price. Well, potentially great price. This one's more expensive, but you can do so now. You don't have to wait a year and a half. You don't have to wonder what the reviews are. You don't have to wonder whether there can be delays or upcharges or who knows what, or tariffs for that matter. You can just go ahead and get those games now. And now we have The Fate of the Fellowship, the Lord of the Rings pandemic game, for $79.99 over on Miniature Market. It's not cheap. To be very clear, this is not a cheap game, but to be fair, it is cheaper than most of those crowdfunded games that you would take a look at and be like, $80? That seems like a bargain price. You can go ahead and check out Fate of the Fellowship. I personally loved it, although make sure to check out both the Dice Tower review as well as my review. That way you get like different opinions, because I know Dice Tower was more middle on it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I love playing this game. I'm excited to play it again. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. It's pandemic at the end of the day, but it evokes the feeling of the Lord of the Rings universe, which I really appreciate because I like the Lord of the Rings universe. But there are definitely reasons to not be a fan of it, and at $80, don't just watch my review and buy it. Go ahead and check out Dice Tower or any other opinions to get a general sense of where it lies for you. But with that said, let's go ahead and dive into crowdfunding. We have a bunch of campaigns. 6. I said 6 campaigns to go through, although we have 2 giant campaigns launching next week. So on the upcoming, at the end of this video, we do have 2 giant campaigns coming. But with that said, we have Light in the Dark plus Fires of Thokaia expansion from Arcona Games. 660 backers, $45,000 raised, 10 days left to go. This is a solo game. Light in the Dark is a solo dungeon crawler-ish, abstracted dungeon crawler from Arcona Games. Fires of Thokaia expansion adds a bunch of things, including a 2-player mode. You can check this game over on BGG. The rating on it is okay. I'm intrigued by the concept. I like Arcona Games, but the rating on it is not enough for me to jump into it. But the expansion might be addressing that. And you can see over here, this is a must-have expansion. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. If you own the game, if you're satisfied with the experience, you should definitely not miss out. Although, I guess, to be fair, that says if you're satisfied with the experience, and the rating is medium on the original base game. So you can decide whether that's pulling you in enough. Does the expansion do enough? It's set in the world of Pest from Arcona Games as well. And again, it looks like a fun, simple dungeon crawler-ish game where you build up your tableau, and the expansion again adds 2-player modes plus other things to the game as well. So where's the expansion? What's new? We have deadlier enemies, unique enemy behaviors, which one of the complaints about the original game was that I feel if I recall correctly, I never played it, was that the original enemies were a little bit more static. So unique enemy behaviors does sound good to add more nuance, so more variability to the session. We have a new enemy enters Thokaia, the Burning Fire, the Emberling Strike. We have new terrain challenges, and then 2-player modes, co-op and competitive if you want to check those out, plus choosing your class. So this really seems like it's taking the game and adding it to a whole nother level. Whether that's enough to pull you in or not is a whole different conversation. Again, the base game on its own, ranking-wise, there's so many great games to pursue that I don't pursue games that are rated as 6.5, even though someone's 6.5 might be your 9 out of 10. Anything can happen, but pursuing those games versus experiencing them and then hunting them down later, those are different things. But the expansion is definitely adding more here, so it's a little harder to say. Pledge levels are Master Doctor, that's kind of the all-in for 69. The Veteran Doctor for people who already own the base game for 25. The new Recruit Doctor for 49. This gives you kind of all the stuff without going all the stuff, so all the gameplay things. So you can check out a bunch of different pledge levels and see what's right for you, or Hero with Empire if you want to get Pest as well. That is basically Light in the Dark, Fires of Thokaia. Then we have, I'm going to have to do a search on the floor for dice later. Then we have Mycelia. There's supposed to be 6 dice per player. I know that. I've had to know that. Mycelia North American expansion. 2,600 backers, $97,000 raised, 15 days to go. This is the purple expansion for Mycelia. Mycelia has been out already. This is kind of I don't even know, you're planting mushrooms, and those mushrooms are sprouting, and then you're trying to be mindful to gather these sprouts to basically to be able to get more mushrooms out and build up your tableau as you go. But this has the Mycelia, the North American expansion, which does several things. The main things are, it adds a 5th player, a purple 5th player, hence the purple the box. It has North American mushrooms, new mechanics, and saplings. The saplings is a big deal over there because this introduces a new symbiotic effect where you have these trees basically that you're going to be in the game. They're going to be planting trees that turn into grandfather trees once they fully sprout. Once you gather what you need, they will fully sprout, and then those grandfather trees give you a lot of control over the board because when shrooms enter their territory, based on who owns the grandfather tree, you have the ability to maneuver them which direction you want, which gives you a lot of control over the board state. So that concept, from having played the base game, that concept sounds intriguing. The expansion is going to run you 17 pounds over here for the North American expansion, 57 pounds if you want the base game and expansion. If you want the deluxe, it's going to be 71 pounds, and then if you're a retailer, it's that pledge level. Shipping over here is going to run you around, well, it depends, $5.50 all the way up to like 26, but if you're in the US, it'll be 10 pounds over here. So keep in mind that is adding, like your 17-pound expansion just became a 27-pound expansion if you are a US backer. That's always the tricky part of buying cheaper things on crowdfunding when you have to deal with those shipping prices, as opposed to waiting for retail when you could bundle it into like, your local friendly retailer or that $100 order. So again, decisions over here as to how much you want this now versus how much you want it later. Are you willing to wait? Have you not gotten it at all? Because if you've not gotten it at all until now and you want the deluxe version, this is a good time to do that. So kind of figuring out where you lie as far as the target audience for this. We have Jackpot. Jackpot's at the reel, 463 backers, 17 days to go, $20,000 raised. Jackpot is coming to you from Jonda Games, and it's a game of, well, hand management. Similar to games like Scout, or actually most recently Jungo as well. You can't order your cards in your hand. You have your hand of cards, and then you have to try to play these slots. You're playing slots onto the table while also upgrading the cards and then drafting your last card to another player. So you're trying to build your hand through what is played, through what stays in your hand, and through what you upgrade, trying to ultimately get sets of 3 of a kind. That's the main idea. There's expansions too, but we'll get to that shortly. But basically, where's the thing? So here we go. If you play a single match, you get 1 coin. Play 2 matches, get a bonus token. And you do 3 matches, you get the jackpot for that type of card over there. And that's what ultimately you're trying to work towards as you build up your hand. So it's a lot of hand management, a little bit of hand drafting, and then a lot of sequencing what order you play things, because you have 3 spins, so to speak. I think you have 10 cards in your hand, if I'm not mistaken. You're playing 3, 3, 3, and then trying to figure out how to order those 3. Like, in what order can you get rid of them from your hand in order to basically get those jackpots, or at least get a bonus token that will help you out. So, I mean, the coins are nice too, but they're not nearly as good. So you're trying to balance all of that as you basically spin your hand, play Jackpot, and then based on how you played your hands, you're also going to be able to take income as well, getting coins from those cards based on how you played them. So it's a lot of just trying to manage multiple criteria, from points to your income to upgrading your cards and what you draft. And then there's expansions as well, giving you 7 Cs, little mini games. Like you have a 7 Cs, you have the Relics of the Last Tomb. These are giving you mini games for your game. We have 49 pounds. It's going to be the all-in with everything, deluxeifications and the base game, expansion, all that. The base game on its own will run you 17 pounds if you just want that, although again, check out shipping because that will change the price a lot. We'll change the ratio of shipping versus the price of the game. 25 pounds gets you the expansion and base game and the little slot machine, although I think you get the slot machine at any tier. Yeah, you get the slot machine. A little mini, it actually like does a little slot. You get that at any tier. Oh, we got a visitor. You want to come? Are you done with the dice game? Alright, so we got the little slot machine that will give you a little thing you can actually slot it each time, and then, oh, he's gone already, which makes sense because he does this. Oh, do not mess my keyboard. Do not mess my keyboard. And then we have, Alexa now recording. Alexa now recording.
Okay.
I just realized my background light wasn't on properly. Anyways, we have that's basically we have over here for the expansion. So kind of as far as shipping, let's check that out because shipping. Oh, you're sleeping. I love this. Okay, cool. He's sleeping down here. Maybe I'll show you. Well, let's see if he gets settled. Actually, let me show you now. Okay, let me show you this 1 second. This is the small amount of cat content. This is my cat desk bed that we have. So I got a little bed set up over there so he can join me when I'm working. Anyways, back to this over here. Shipping's going to run you around $4 for the base game over here, $7 for the hold pledge, and that's actually not a bad ratio. That $4 versus 17 and 17 pounds, that's a much better ratio overall. It's one of those delicate balances. You have to kind of get those numbers right if you want to pull people in, because like you saw with Mycelia, paying 10 pounds in shipping on a 17-pound game, that's just something that's always like a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow. This is much more palatable overall. We have the Voynich Puzzle from Salt and Pepper, 53,000 pounds raised. In general, Salt and Pepper generally do pretty well. This seems like it might be trending towards their best game overall. I guess highest funded. Best we'll see. Although I will say, Board Game Buzz did say this is her favorite game from Salt and Pepper. I want to make sure that's true. Board Game Buzz. Let me see. Let me scroll down. I'm pretty sure. I could do it later, but I don't want to forget. Board Game Buzz. This is my favorite game from them. I love this game. Yeah, and that's important because like so Carly from Board Game Buzz, she does these first impressions videos, but she has not been shy about saying when a game did or didn't work for her as much. Like Battle of the Divas, if you watch that first impression, she was a little more like, you know, pros and cons. And it's important to know that because when you know someone is willing to do pros and cons as opposed to, like, there's different kinds of content creators out there. There's content creators who are just giving you their recommendations. They're like, I like these games, I want to tell you about these games. And then there's content creators who are telling you their actual thoughts on games a little bit more. And now that we know, so to speak, that Carly is willing to be more critical, that also means when she's saying, and again, it wasn't like critical, but it was like pros and cons. That means that when she's saying, though, this is her favorite game, that doesn't mean it'll be your favorite game, but it does mean that it counts for something. It's not just every game is a favorite game, if that makes sense. And so that does. Like, I haven't played the Voynich Puzzle, but the feedback I've been seeing has been very positive. Some from channels that just do recommendations, which means a little less to me, and some from channels like Carly's who are willing to be more critical at times, which means it means a lot more to me. So 1,100 backers, 53,000. Sorry for that little tangent, but that is often how I look when I haven't had a chance to play a game myself. That kind of stuff is what I look for. If you're that kind of stuff is what I look for. 52,000 pounds, euros raised, 1,100 backers. The Voynich Puzzle is based on the Voynich manuscripts, which is the whole like puzzle manuscripts, the infamous Voynich manuscripts, and it's being turned into a game. And according to Kavre, I believe they said it's a glorious combination. I don't think they said glorious, but I'm saying glorious combination of theme and mechanics. So that's something that'll be there as well. So we have mysterious manuscript, cryptic language, puzzle no one has solved, and there's like actual puzzle pieces. I'm very intrigued by this one. Like, I covered Battle of the Divas. I wish I had covered this one instead. Like, and you can't pick and choose what you get, but this looks very compelling. No idea if I would like it. Like, I like Salt and Pepper Games. They've put out a pretty decent bunch of games so far. Some of which I haven't tried all of them, but I like their games. But Voynich Puzzle does look beautiful, and I mean it is a little more expensive compared to their usual offerings, but it looks like there's a reason for that as far as production and the puzzly gameplay type. That blend, again, according to Kavre, that blend of theme mechanics, that stuff does pull me in overall. So that's kind of what we got. Inspired by a real mystery, a game with infinite strategy, a unique theme, a book that evolves in your hands, all of that. Like, again, it's uniqueness. Uniqueness stands out. Where's that Kavre? Glorious. They did say glorious. Oh my gosh, that's a subconscious thing. When I said glorious, I didn't know that was the word they used. That was for sure subconscious because I've gone over this page. I just subconsciously remember that they said glorious. A glorious marriage of theme and mechanics and a true treasure in our board game collection. I totally thought I made up the word glorious there. Anyways, that's what we got as far as the puzzle over here. 40 pounds for the puzzle, so let's go through the game. 40 pounds for the game, so it's a little more expensive than the usual games, but again, it does look like it's bringing more components to the table. Their games in general are a little harder to get, so if you are interested in this one seems like a better one to get than their typical offerings, which usually are available. And part of the tricky part is their games shipping-wise, the cost of the pledge, €14 to ship, to the US. €14 versus 40, not terrible. Again, their general games are a little cheaper, and usually that ratio is a little worse. So I guess the fact that the game is more expensive arguably makes the shipping look better. It's one of those weird things in life, but it is the way things work. So yeah, color me interested in the Voynich Puzzle. I think it looks very cool. Then we have Kraken. Kraken, the pirate and fishing sabotage board game. 368 backers, $27,000 raised, 19 days to go. Kraken is I was intrigued by this one because I just saw the cover, and honestly, it looked like Rivages from Pandasaurus is what it looked like. But this is basically, it's a draw a card, play a card kind of game, at least looking at it so far. Looks like draw a card, play a card. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing at all, but it does mean that this is lighter compared to what I thought it was. So I was hooked by the image, intrigued by it, but ultimately it's, playing cards. Again, nothing wrong with playing cards. Playing card games can be great. The tricky part is usually, especially with the lighter games, I'm a little more inclined to believe that this is going to be more of a, draw cards, play cards, take that in it. I don't fully know if it will be. I'm judging a book by its cover, but that's literally what the crowdfunding page is. It's judging a book by its cover. We have Kraken classic version over there for $49 Canadian, so around $36 US. We have the classic promo pro pack for $55, giving you the expansions to the game. And then you can add the limited expansion over there. There's other things you can add as well, going further and further up the legendary track and all those, the deluxe edition, all of this stuff over here. But it does seem like it's, where's the gameplay? There's a game round. Draw 2 action cards, play up to 3 actions, discover the fish you'll face, and try to catch it. So again, you're drawing cards, playing cards, which many games do that, but with lighter games like this, it instinctively has me thinking that I'm not as much the target audience. So I looked to see more, and I'm not pulled in by it after looking to see more. Then we have Risk of Rain, the board game. 2,400 backers, $509,000 raised, 22 days to go. Risk of Rain, the board game, is based off the video game, which I've never heard of until now. I never heard of it, but now I want to buy it. I have wishlisted on Steam, Risk of Rain 2 specifically. Let me know if you've played Risk of Rain 2. Let me know if it's actually good. Should I buy it? Like, I'll probably wait till it goes on sale. Like, right now it's $30, but like, I buy video games and then I play some of them. So let me know. Let me know if this is worth getting. It looked cool. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that this board game made me interested in the video game, so at least they accomplished that. So good job, Gearbox. You may have gotten $30 out of me, but not from the board game. Although I am interested in the board game too. Risk of Rain, the board game, is going to be, I don't know if they use the term roguelite, but it certainly seems like a roguelite game. Did they say roguelite here? Yeah, they say cooperative roguelite tabletop game set on the alien planet of Petrichor V. Fun fact, Petrichor is the name of a board game, I think. Petrichor. It means dew. Petrichor is like the dew. Why is the planet called Petrichor? Anyways, fight through the hordes of frenzied monsters with your friends. This basically, first of all, say, the video for this looks great. What was the video? Mycelia had a great video. Mycelia had a great video. I highly recommend checking that out. But Risk of Rain, the video for this campaign looked great, pulled you in, pulled me in at least, maybe interested in the video game, because like I was looking at the video and I was like, this looks like a video game, but I never realized it was a video game. That's when I Googled it and saw, and then later I saw Gearbox and 2K and I was like, oh, that's definitely a video game. Anyways, from Nerdvana Games, I believe they've done one game so far. This is going to be the second game, Risk of Rain. But it does look cool. The feedback so far seems pretty positive from people who've played the game. It's like definitely like a lot of, again, testimonials. Take testimonials with a very heavy grain of salt. And I will say that this batch of testimonials more so was from people who are generally positive, so you have to take that with another grain of salt. But it still sounded good. So, like, you know, again, it's always just trying to judge a book by its cover, figuring it out. And the good news is it's available on TTS. If you want to check this out, this game is available on Tabletop Simulator. It looks like they're making it publicly available so people can try it. So also, something I should have done, but I didn't do, is head over to BGG and see what the general BGG feedback is from people who played it. Like, and ignore the content creators when you can. Pay attention to the people who've gotten their hands in the game, who have their own opinion that's not vested in anything at all, like any kinds of relationships, friends, you know, anything. Just and that includes myself, by the way. Whenever you can get multiple users' opinions, that's another thing. It's a whole bunch more people. Always go for the opinion of the masses over the opinion of a content creator, unless you happen to know that you align with that content creator. That's different. If there's a content creator you're like, whenever they've said they like a game, or 98% of the time, if I align with that content creator, even 95%, maybe even 90%, that's different. But other than that, the power of the masses is definitely something to go for. But yeah, the game over here. We have the retailer pledge. Let's look at the recommended. We have the featured all-in for $235. Outside of that, we have the safe travels, $125. Keep in mind, shipping is going to run you, if you're in the US, you're looking at anywhere between $20 to $30 shipping, I think it was. I'll double check soon. So that's definitely going to add a lot to the price point. So your $125 game is really a $145-ish game. Then we have the core deluxe for $185. There's two expansions. There's like the GUP. There's the two main expansions, the boss miniatures and the GUP. So you got a bunch of things going on expansion-wise. And then the all-in you already saw for $285 over here. So you can see them over here, $125, $185, $235. That's going to give you all the various main expansions for this game. It looks cool. The gameplay, from the minimal gameplay stuff, as far as playing your cards to the row, revealing the monsters, seeing the initiative, ordering that, going through trying to kill the bosses, dying, getting more powerful because roguelite, and then rinsing and repeating so you can die back in until you eventually defeat the bosses. All of this seems cool. I will say I like that kind of gameplay. I'm always mindful that roguelites in general, especially if you're playing them on a tabletop form, and this applies to even Slay the Spire. It applies to everything, even though Slay the Spire is probably one of my favorites here. But when you're adding things to the game that shift up game to game, you have to be able to manage that. In a video game, it takes care of it all for you. In a board game, you have to manage that and kind of remember where you're up to and all those things. So you have to have a good system for it. But if you do have a good system, or if you're playing it frequently, those things will work out. So I'm definitely interested in this game. There's no question about that. But it has the mindfulness that I haven't played it, and roguelites can be amazing and incredible and easy to manage, and they can sometimes be like, okay, well, that's just too much work and I'll try something else instead. So we have that balance as far as how a roguelike works versus playing a video game. But outside of that, I'm definitely very interested in the game. There's no question about that. Shipping, let's go on shipping. Where is shipping? Shipping is going to run you in the US from $18 to $25 all the way up to $24 to $36. So yeah, that $20 to $30 range is roughly accurate. It's $18 to $36 looks like the range they're offering. So yeah, so take that into account with your pledge levels. But outside of that, I'm definitely interested in Risk of Rain, the board game, and also interested in Risk of Rain, the video game. We have Camp Grizzly 2nd Edition. This is our last campaign of the day. I told you it's going to be a short week, but we're still going to go over that 20-minute mark because, I mean, 6 campaigns in 25-ish minutes. I'm guessing around 25-ish minutes. 3,300 backers, 23 days to go, $262,000 raised. Now, Trick or Treat Studios is bringing back Camp Grizzly at 10 years later. A horror survival board game 2nd edition that is like very thematic, very cool in all that sense. I will say it is semi-co-op, which can be, like, it's rated 7.5 in BGG. It's a decent rating that's worth looking into if you're intrigued by it. Semi-co-op always has potential issues, so you just need to figure out whether that works for you or not. This one doesn't seem to be too plagued by it, but it's still a semi-co-op game with all the things that go wrong with semi-co-op. So again, it could be amazing. To me, semi-co-op is always a warning sign. It's one of those things that I may love a game with semi-co-op, but it's certainly going to be the exception, not the norm, if that makes sense. We have the limited release for $79. That's going to be the deluxe edition of the game, and then we have the retail edition for $60, which we have, 84 people taking this, and then 3,000 people taking this one. So that additional $19, what is that getting you? Before we get to that, you're basically playing in a camp. There's the giant camp Grizzly is open for season, and there's someone with a bear mask wandering around killing people. So you're trying to survive in this horror-themed game. Again, this is a 10-year-old game. They brought it back. I think it was like Americamp Games. Was that what it was? I can't remember the original publisher. But what's it called? Trick or Treat Studios has picked it up. The how to play, they have the rule book, they have the full how to play. Basically going to be picking a scenario, setting up the game, exploring around, encountering, and then fighting or panic as you deal with Otis, who's going to be walking around stalking people and chalking up those dead bodies. Then eventually you have the finale over here, where you have to go ahead and take out Otis if you are able to do so. You have to gather the items, bring the required objectives to one of the 4 location finales for the final epic battle. That's the basic idea. We have $60, we have $79, pretty straightforward as far as the pledge levels, nothing too crazy to go on. $60 for a retail game does seem high, but then again, the state of the world is constantly changing, and it does make sense that, things get more expensive. Well, $60, I shouldn't say that. I took it wrong. $60 for a retail game doesn't seem high. $60 for a retail game could be completely normal. $60 based on the components I'm seeing, that seems a little high based on other comparable games. But then again, to be fair, this new version has 7 expansions included in the box. So there is that factor. The original game did not have the expansions. This one has 7 expansions built into the game. And then we have the expansion 1, Spin the Bottle, Keep Your Distance, Behind the Bear, Jump the Bear, Rated R, Cheerleaders, and Family Matters. And then we have the expansions. We have the stretch goals. We have Happy Campers, even more counselors. So just more things being added to the game. So maybe I'd take it back. Maybe $60 is starting to seem more reasonable given just how much content there is. The limited release over here, the component upgrades, that $19 is buying you acrylic standees for both the counselors as well as for Otis. We have a wooden body marker and a wooden key token, and then Spot UV in the box, and then 11 chipboard counselor mats. All the cards in the base game and all expansion will be placed with chipboard. So that's what we get for $19, which means if you're interested in the game, that's a pretty decent upgrade pack for $19. Again, the acrylic standees are nice on their own. I would have been uncertain. Once you throw in the counselor mats being upgraded to chipboard as opposed to like cards, that definitely makes a nice touch for that $19 of what you're getting overall. As far as shipping is going to run you $18 to the US, and then check your country for whatever you are, and that's basically where it is for Camp Grizzly. 10 years later, finally coming back, funded in 5 minutes, $260,000. There's definitely a demand for this game. That is basically the games we have for this week, which means it's time for my picks of the week. Picks of the week usually have a game that I think is the most likely to hold its value, as well as the game that I'm most personally interested in. For the value pick of the week, I'm going to go with Risk of Rain. Games based off video games generally do better, and again, the testimonials are pretty positive that make it sound like it's a good game, so that factors in. It's definitely not on the cheaper side, but I think it's the most likely to hold its value overall, combined with the hard to get, the exclusive content and all that, and then this is the most likely to hold its value from the games we're covering. As far as my personal interest pick of the week, that's going to go to the Voynich Puzzle. Salt and Pepper, again, they're games I've generally liked. Some I've liked more, some I've liked less, but I've liked their games, and the Voynich Puzzle looks like it's beautiful, highly produced, and again, rave reviews from people who've played it. All of that makes me very, very intrigued by the Voynich Puzzle, and this is going to be my personal interest pick of the week. Which brings us to the upcoming campaigns. We have 2 big ones. We have Blood Rage Valhalla, 20,000 people following this campaign, launching tomorrow. Check this one out. I also will have a first impressions going up on the channel because I have had a chance to play this one on TTS. So check out that video if you want to know more about it. I will definitely say I am more excited for it after having played it than I was before having played it. I was excited before, to be fair. I was excited before. I'm more excited after. But you can check out my first impressions going up live tomorrow. And then we have Arc Nova with 60,000 people. Well, 59,311. I'd be fascinated. Can that number get to 60,000 before the campaign launches in 22 hours? I also think this is the most... I can get access to the data if I needed to, but I think this is the most followed GameFound campaign ever. I could be wrong with that, but I think it's the most followed GameFound campaign. Like Lands of Evershade has like 48,000 or something like that. But then again, what is Nemesis? Nemesis might be... let's check Nemesis live. Nemesis Retaliation? No, what's... Yeah, Retaliation. Nemesis Retaliation has 67,000 people. Okay, never mind. I lied. 67. There we go. Because that's the most funded GameFound campaign. So 67,000 is apparently the number to beat. Although, to be fair, I don't know what that number was before launch, because followers will continue to pick up after the game launches, so we will see. This may well have the capacity, have the opportunity to be the most followed GameFound campaign ever. I'm very intrigued. But launching tomorrow, Arc Nova 3D Edition. These are the deluxe upgrades coming to you from Jackpot Spiel. Do they show anything on the box? Teasers? Okay, they're showing some things. We got some stuff over here. I'm curious what will show up tomorrow for this one. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I appreciate you being here. Sorry for the video being late for today. I find that happens. The Monday videos, timing-wise, it is what it is. But in any case, and until next time, thank you so much for being here. And as always, and until next time, I hope you have a good one. Did you hear about the action movie where they wanted classical composers as the stars of the action movie? Which is a weird theme, but like when they approached Arnold Schwarzenegger about being in the film, he said, "I'll be back."